2, and the Indians are 7 games behind the White Sox going into September. The only way that you can justify we might have a really good chance is if you have like 7 head-to-head games.
Right.
But otherwise, I just don't know.
And the Tigers, too, aren't playing very well. After they got Washburn, I said that was a great move, and he's been pitching pretty bad ever since he came to Detroit.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
So, yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the NFL really quick. Want to bring up a couple points. Preseason obviously started this past week with the Hall of Fame game, and tonight another game starts. The Patriots are playing the Eagles. My Super Bowl prediction. Speaking of predictions, we spent a good 5 weeks doing NFL previews and picking teams and everything. One team, there's been a lot of injuries, a lot of stories that come out of NFL training camps leading into the preseason. The Panthers, who I predicted to win the division and go into the playoffs a little bit, have had like 6 or 7 injuries. They've had a lot of injuries. Steve Smith, one of their wideouts, is not doing well. He got hurt or whatever. Let me ask you, what do you does this how do you think it affects the Panthers, and do you want to change any of your preseason picks based on injuries that you've seen?
Steve Smith was hurt, but he's still expected to be back and healthy by the time the regular season starts, so I'm not too concerned about that. But I didn't have them making the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't change my predictions at all.
Yeah, for me it doesn't either. He'll be fine. He'll be back before the season starts. I think that they'll still win the division, but I just think it's interesting. I'm excited. I don't mind watching a preseason game here and there. I don't watch it like I do the regular season. I mean, I'm sure you don't either, because it's just all the B and C teams. But I'm really excited for football season to get going here, and I can't wait for Sundays with Sad Face or whatever his name is. Is it Sad Face?
Yeah.
Sad.
I can't wait to meet Sad Face.
You've never met him either?
No.
Yeah, I guess it's just Doug and Josh and them, but I'm excited to Oh, they haven't met him. They've made fun of him, but so I'm excited, but it doesn't change anything for me. So we obviously spent a lot of time talking about baseball and pitchers. We actually today was pitcher oriented. So I think it's a perfect time to talk about, we talked about good pitchers or bad pitchers, I guess, and retaliation. I think it's a perfect time to name and talk about good pitchers and who in our opinions are our top 5 best pitchers in baseball. Not just one league or the other, but both.
All of baseball.
So you tell me your number 5 best pitcher in baseball.
My number 5 best pitcher in baseball, I'm choosing Jake Peavy because he's had great stuff through his whole career, and he's injured right now, but I'd probably have him higher on the list if he hadn't just changed leagues, and now there's kind of some questions about him.
Yeah.
But he's been pretty much outstanding throughout his career so far.
I could see that, though he's not on my list. My number 5 might surprise you. It's he's on the DL right now, but that doesn't mean he's not a good pitcher if he's on the DL.
Well, my guy's on the DL.
I picked Tim Wakefield. He's having a fantastic year. He's had a fantastic career. Love watching the knuckleball, by the way. Love watching it go over the plate. I just think he's a fantastic pitcher. I think he's a Hall of Famer, and so I put him number 5. I think he's a perfect number 5 slot. I just realized that this top 5 is also like a rotation. I just realized that. Isn't that funny?
All-star rotation.
Yeah. Okay, your number 4?
My number 4 is Justin Verlander.
Oh, I forgot about him.
He is the ace in Detroit, and he's still, I think he's in his 3rd year.
He's young.
And he pitches, his fastball is near 100 miles an hour. He strikes lots of guys out. I don't know. He's just really good.
I remember the year he lost like 12 games.
Yeah, he did have a kind of a bump in the road. Well, I think it was last year.
Yeah,
but
it was a couple of years ago. Yeah,
this year he's pitching really, really great.
Yeah, you went with the White Sox for 1, so I went with the Cubs for 1. My number 4 is Rich Harden. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I put him on there because he's on the Cubs. He's a good pitcher, probably not top 5, but Doug used to always mess around with his top 5 a little bit, so I'm going to I put Rich Harden on there. I bumped somebody off that probably should have been on there, but Rich Harden's a very good pitcher. He's a good pitcher, probably not top 5.
He had one good start, yesterday.
Oh, stop it! Tell me your number 3.
My number 3 is Johan Santana. He's pretty much been one of the most dominant pitchers ever since he's came into the league. And this year he's kind of struggling, but I have to say that mostly has to do with the team he plays for, the Mets, who are very badly injured, the most injured team.
And he gets no run support
And,
again.
Yeah, he doesn't get any run support from his team, so that's making his stats not look great, but he's still one of the best pitchers out there.
ERA is great, and that's something to look at. Because you can't always, if you pitch consistently 7 innings and give up a run or two, that's excellent. And if your team only scores 0 or 1,
yeah,
you can't do anything about it.
What can you do about it?
My number 3, this was tough. My number 3 was Cliff Lee. Defending Cy Young winner. He has had a very good career. Last year was a career year, and he's having a very solid year again this year. He's 9-9. However, speaking of record, very deceiving because the Indians.
Yeah, he played for the Indians, which he didn't get any run support for.
Yeah.
So almost the same situation as Santana playing in New York.
Lee probably will win 15 games this year. So my third best.
My number 2 is Tim Lincecum. Probably right now, recently, is the most dominant pitcher in baseball, but I think he's only in his second year, and he's young. He has great stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
My number 2 is Roy Halladay. I'll talk more about it in a second, but Roy Halladay is my number 2. He kind of goes without saying. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Roy Halladay.
That's why I didn't say anything, because I'm sure you're surprised that it wasn't my number 1. My number 1 was Tim Lincecum. So we had him flipped. For basically what you said. I mean, we can talk a little bit about those, but Tim Lincecum, he has the ERA, the wins. He's got the stuff. He's got strikeouts on his side. They're both really good. It could have gone either way, I feel.
I say Roy Halladay because he doesn't have he's not going to have the strikeouts that Lincecum does. He probably doesn't have as good a stuff as Lincecum does. But for Roy Halladay, he'll pitch 7, 8, 9 innings every game, even if he's not winning, and that's exactly what you want from your pitcher.
Yeah, and he gets it done.
Even if he doesn't have his best stuff, he'll still get the job done, pitch your innings, and you want that because with him on the team, you know that your bullpen is going to get some rest that day, and there's just so much other stuff that he gives you besides great stuff.
I put Lincecum number 1 only because of age and dominance right now. Anyway, we're almost out of time, so we've got some people to thank as always.
Yeah, we'd like to thank FETV and Mike Reynolds, as well as Waubonsee Community College and Paul Sauer.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for everything. As always, you can check us out many places. Our YouTube site, youtube.com/Racin Stuff. Check out every episode on there. Nicely, organized and maintained for you. You can also subscribe to us on podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes from the podcast section. Just power search Racin and Stuff. You can find us there and subscribe and have all the episodes instantly downloaded, as I found out, to your computer. We're also on Facebook. Just search Racin Stuff on Facebook, and you can see live updates and different things from us. And then we also, if you ever want to email us any questions, comments, concerns, sports franchises that we should like or don't like or whatever, or places to visit in the world or whatever you want, you can email us racinandstuff@gmail.com and hit us up with any comments that you might have. And you can also leave us little comments on Facebook now too, so that's kind of cool. So I guess that's it. Lots of stuff. Well, lots to talk about next week too. So I'm Chris.
Kyle.
See you later.